Viewer discretion is advised.
MS, seriously. Yeah. Um, I was diagnosed officially in 2014 um, in the hospital, and but I can trace the symptoms back to 2006 when I really have gotten to know um, exactly what MS is and does. In 2006, I woke up one day, just normal day, and I was completely numb from the waist down. I mean, everything. You know, when I was going to the bathroom, I couldn't feel myself wiping with paper. I couldn't feel that. When I was standing up to go to the bathroom, I couldn't know when I was done. I would hear and see when I was done, but I couldn't feel when I was done. Um, I was walking okay because I remembered the cadence of walking and had no problem. And so I went for tests and all that, and they came back negative, nothing, this and that. We don't know what's wrong. Must be a pinched nerve in your back. And then one day, about 10, 11 days later, I woke up and I was fine. So that was it. And then fast forward to 2012, I woke up again. Woke up one day just like a normal everyday, and my left eye was like looking through an empty glass of milk. It was really cloudy and I couldn't see much. And that's when I was like, oh, something's really wrong. Your eyes just don't do that. I went to an ophthalmologist, and he sent me to a neuro-ophthalmologist, who then, with a great bedside manner, just proclaimed, "Oh, the only way that you can have optic neuritis is either with a brain tumor or multiple sclerosis." And then he went back to his little desk and started writing, and I'm sitting there, and my mother's sitting a few feet away, and I was like, "What the f- is wrong with you?" And he's, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "You just dumped that on someone? Oh, don't worry, it's either a brain tumor or MS. You're not totally screwed." I'm like, "My mother's sitting right here. Why would you say that in front of her?" And I'm like, "No, seriously." I'm like, "Why wouldn't you ask her to leave the room so you could talk to me privately?" I'm like, "You think she wants to hear that about her child?" Anyway, as you could tell, I don't get along with doctors. Some of them are awesome. Most of them that I've come across, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just there for a paycheck. And if anyone has a problem with that, prove me wrong. So I remember on the ride home, my mom, of course, she was being very chatty, which is not like her. That's how I know she was nervous, and she was being very positive, which I know is not her. She's usually, doom and gloom, but she's tough. She'll tell you, "Look, you're screwed," but I'm gonna be screwed with you. I'm gonna stand right here next to you. We're gonna be screwed together. So she's an awesome person. She really is. But we were driving home, and of course I'm agreeing with her, half listening, because I'm formulating in my head what I'm going to do, and the solution I came up with was, okay. I don't know much about this MS thing, but I know a lot about me, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go home, and I'm going to make sure all my affairs are in order, all my life insurance, everything's in order, and I'm going to wait a year, maybe 10 months or so it doesn't look too suspicious, and then I'm going to hop on my motorcycle, and I'm going to go for one last ride, and I'm going to put myself under a gas truck. And that way my mom will be taken care of, and my nephew will be taken care of, and my sister at the time would be taken care of. She's since passed. And that's where my head was at. It was, my first reaction was flight. I didn't want to fight this. I didn't want to go through this. And then as I started researching more and more, I really, really realized that I didn't want to do this. This is horrible. I read the things that could happen. I read the timeline that things can happen in, and yeah, it's amazing. And but looking back on it now, that I've been fighting for 3 or 4 years now. I mean, I fought prior to that, but I just didn't know what the hell was wrong with me. But fighting these last few years, um, I realized if I had to go back, and I was faced with that decision again of living and fighting, or just going for one last ride and going underneath that gas truck, I wouldn't. It would be the furthest thing from my mind, because so many beautiful things have happened to my life in the last few years that I couldn't imagine, living without them. I mean, my family, although small, we're stronger than ever. I got this little guy here. This is Troy. He's, I mean, he was there before everything. We got him in 2012. But, you know, when he came into my life, I knew there was something special about him. I just didn't know how special it was going to be. And I mean, you see, this is every day with Troy. He just wants to be on your lap. He just wants to be with you. And if I get upset about something or tense about something, I won't even vocalize anything. He just knows. And it's true. He's like a true therapy dog, with no training at all. He just, out of love, he gives me, he calms me down. I mean, if it wasn't for this little guy right here, I would seriously, I would probably strap or walk around with a gas can and make some shit right. He keeps me calm, and on bad days he's there, and he, just the love that he has and he offers is amazing. So I have him, and I have my girlfriend Kelly, who is phenomenal, and I'm not going to embarrass her by saying all the things that she means to me, but I don't have words. How do you put into words what someone means to you when they're with you through everything? you know and there's something to be said for that kind of love, because she's not my blood. She's not my relative. She's a regular person, and she chose to love me for all that I am, and especially for what I'm not. And that's a beautiful thing, when you can find someone that looks to you and says, okay, so I know you have a problem, but so, and they love you even more anyway. But yeah, if I had to go back, that would be the furthest thing from my mind. That was my first initial reaction, was I'm not dealing with this, goodbye. But I definitely wouldn't do that now. No. Hell no. He'd be really mad at me.